If you've never heard of Alpine before, then I don't blame you, because there hasn't been a car wearing that badge for the past 20 years. But if you're currently considering buying a Porsche Cayman, an Audi TT or even an Alfa Romeo 4C, then listen up. This is the A110 from the Renault-owned Alpine brand. It's a totally new and bespoke two-seater sports car built mostly from aluminium. It's mid-engined and it's one of the most intriguing and exciting cars of 2018. Its firepower doesn't seem to be that special. There's only a 1.8 litre turbo engine from a Renault Megane RS, and it develops just 249 bhp. That's hardly enough to worry the Porsche Cayman. But at just 1100 kilograms, this is a very light car, and Alpine's hardcore, ultra-enthusiastic petrolhead engineers have set out to make this the most sophisticated and fun car in this £50,000 sports car bracket. It's a tough ask, isn't it? And you can't help but think that Alpine's engineers can't possibly match, let alone beat, the Porsche Cayman. Well, if you think that, you're in for a bit of a surprise, because this car is absolutely fan-bleeding-tastic, trust me. Now, it's one of those rare things that within the first 500 yards of driving this car, you realise this car is absolutely top draw. Now, you don't have to dial it up or live with it to learn about its quirks. This car is excellent right from the get-go. So, what's good then? Well, let's start with that engine. Now, the raw figures don't look particularly good. It's only got a 1.8 litre turbocharged engine. It only does 155 miles an hour, and it only does 0 to 62 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds. A Porsche Cayman S would do it in less than 4. However, whilst this engine may not have a huge amount of arsenal, what it does have is a fantastic noise. Just listen to this. That is one of the nicest sounding 4-cylinder engines I think is available on the market. Now, it's backed up by an optional sports exhaust, granted, but still, there's a nice raughty, sort of growly noise to it, but also it sounds quite sweet and delicate at the same time. It sounds so much better than the 4-cylinder lump Porsche puts in the Cayman, that's for sure. The ride, it's a revelation. Thanks to all-round double wishbones and some trick dampers, the ride is soft and compliant. But this doesn't translate to bouncy or wallowy ride. It feels really sophisticated and well judged. You know, I said that the Alpine's arsenal doesn't sound particularly good. I mean, its raw figures don't particularly stack up that well to a Porsche Cayman S. What I didn't say was the fact that this car weighs around 300 kilograms less than the Cayman. This is around 1100 kilos, and you can really feel it. If you step out of the Cayman and into this, you realise how much benefits weight saving has. It is so much more agile, so much more lighter foot, and the controls are so much crisper as a result. You fling this into a corner and it just rewards you, and it's all backed up with steering that is so communicative, pedals that have a nice weighting to them as well. The whole thing is an absolute revelation, and it makes you realise that modern day cars have become heavy and lumpen, and this reminds you of what cars were like in the 1960s. Honestly, it's that good. Couple this lack of weight with the agile chassis and soft suspension, and the Alpine feels like a grown-up, more sophisticated Mazda MX-5, and I mean that in a good way. And as you'd expect, there are a number of driving modes. Flicking to Sport sharpens things up, including the exhaust note, while Track gives you a nice bit of slip before gathering things up. And then there's the gearbox. It would be nice to have a 6-speed manual, but Alpine didn't have enough money to have a manual and then develop an excellent automatic, so they focused on just delivering the excellent automatic. It's a 7-speed dual clutch unit. It could do with being a bit snappier, but I'm talking about milliseconds here. On the whole, it's a very good gearbox and nothing like the Clio RS's gearbox at all. As you'd expect from a Focus sports car, it's all very straightforward when choosing your Alpine. There are just two models. The Pure gets fixed leather-trimmed bucket seats like our car has, sat-nav, air conditioning and LED front and rear lights. The Legend adds some deliciously retro alloys, adjustable sports seats and an upgraded audio system. Our car is the Premier Edition, which unfortunately is all sold out. Now what a lovely place to be this is. Now there's lots of retro touches like the quilting here on the doors, but also there's the TFT screens which are also very modern. Now in the centre of the dashboard we've got a touch screen. Now it looks a little bit familiar to my eyes. It looks like the system Suzuki uses in the Ignis. It's definitely not the Renault R-Link system, but it's very simple to use. It's very simplistic. It's not very sort of sophisticated, but it's quite straightforward to use. Now, if you press the Alpine logo in the centre, you've got sort of lots of ancillary gauges and dials, just the type of thing you want in a small little sports car. Now, quality-wise, well, generally speaking, it's absolutely fine. Yes, there are some scratchy plastics and all the controls are pinched from various different Renaults, but all the touch points feel very good. There's lots of nice bits of leather. The steering wheel feels absolutely fantastic to hold, and all the controls down here feel of very good quality. Now, there's precious little storage in here. I mean, there's actually none whatsoever. There are no door bins, there's not even a glove box. The only thing you do get is this little storage tray down here, and down there you'll find a couple of USB charging ports. Now down here you'll see there is a plaque. It says the Premier Edition. Now you can't actually buy a Premier Edition in the UK anymore because they've all sold out. The two remaining trim levels are still on sale, and you can still spec your car up to make it look like a Premier Edition. The same goes for the boot because it is ridiculously small. I mean, take a look at that. It's just like a tiny flap. And even though there's a boot right at the front, if you're going to be going away at the weekend, make sure you pack pretty light. But the pretty ridiculous amount of boot space is the only thing that's bad with the Alpine. It's a gorgeous reinterpretation of the original A110, and yet it doesn't look like a pastiche. Add in a fantastic chassis, lovely ride, a strong engine, and the mystique of a classic French name across the nose, and you're left in no doubt that the A110 is a match for a Porsche Cayman. It really is that good. Click the video window to watch another video review, this time of the Alpha 4C and our sports cars playlist. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up and press the Carbuyer logo to subscribe. Thanks for watching.